Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. Here we are, middle of February. It's actually Valentine's Day, and it's 52 degrees out. The sun is out. It's gorgeous. I'm out here, shorts and a t-shirt. I'm good. In the sun, it is absolutely delightful. But anyway, got a bunch of old war stories to tell, so here we go. This one is entitled Yearbook Scandal. This happened my senior year of high school, which would have been 1997. That's sad. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure of how this all worked. I don't know if they contracted with a different company to print the yearbooks, probably because it was cheaper. But anyways, we all got our pictures taken, things like that, your typical school yearbook shit. And there we were, and the pictures are taken. It's getting near the end of the school year. It's maybe a month out, 2 weeks out, whatever it is. Not even 2 weeks. It should have been about a month or so. And you have to pay for the yearbooks. Whatever they cost, you have to get it. So I got one, and so did most of the school. Well, the reason this was a scandal was because this company that they chose to print this yearbook fucked up really bad. There were two stories. I'll tell you one first, and then I'll tell you the real deal. The one story, there was this girl, her name was Suzy. She was sort of tomboyish, and at the time there was no such thing as its and theys and thems and pronouns and transgender bullshit that goes on today. There was none of that. You had boys, you had girls. There were no gender-neutral bathrooms. There were no anything like that. It was just straight cut as nature had originally intended. But there are tomboys out there, and Suzy was a tomboy. In fact, so much of a tomboy that for extracurricular activities, you could choose a sport. So there was baseball and soccer and lacrosse and stuff like that. And of course, football. Well, Suzy was built and she wanted to play football, and there was a lot of controversy with that in the school because she's a girl and the football team was all guys. There was so much controversy that they took pictures of the football team and they purposely had Suzy stand all the way on the end. And in the yearbook, they purposely cut off the picture so you didn't see her face. That was one scandal. Now, I don't know if that was the school board that really did that or what it was. I don't know. Remember, this was 1997. That was 25 years ago. A lot of things were different. A lot of things were different. So this didn't fly well, and that was one part of it. But that really only affected Suzy and maybe the people who supported her on the team. I don't know, and coaches or teachers who supported her in her endeavors. Whatever happened to her, I don't know. But the other thing, and the biggest problem, was that they have your picture and your name printed right below it. The names were, you gotta say, a good 50% of them were misspelled. Now, we didn't have names that were simple American names like Jones or Smith or White or Black or Brown even, or anything like that. You know, it was all over the it was all over the map. We weren't a multicultural school, so to speak, but because in as much to say as that the people that were in my classes spoke perfect English without an accent or anything like that. They didn't come over from a different country. They were born and raised in this country, so they speak regular English like people in the United States did. But they had weird names. They weren't terribly difficult to spell, but they also weren't easy to spell. And like I said, a good 50% of these names were spelled wrong. Even as much as the first names. And we're talking Christine, Melissa, David, William, Joseph, you know, plain old names that we'd have here that were very common at the time when people of my age were born. So they weren't, you know, anything difficult with that, but they were spelling that wrong as well. News got around quickly of this, of course, because the school board, they don't flip through it to look, you know, they don't know. So they hand out the yearbooks to everybody who had paid. And you flip through, you flip through, you flip through, and you see your picture, because that's what you came for. And there was your name misspelled. I don't think mine was misspelled. It's very hard. I'd have to go and look at it, and it's probably still at my parents' house, so I don't know. But so many names were misspelled, and the school was in an uproar over this. I mean, seriously in an uproar. Well, they realized that somebody done fucked up and bad. So they said, all right, here's what we're going to do. Anybody whose name is misspelled, you hand in your yearbook, and we will reprint a new yearbook with the corrected names. Anybody whose name is not misspelled, if you want to keep the book as is, you can. You already paid for it. But if you'd like to hand it in and have a corrected edition issued instead, you can do that also. Talk about fucking embarrassment. Now, I can understand there might be a name or two that might be misspelled here or there, maybe even 3 or 4, and you deal with those 2, 3, or 4 people on a one-on-one basis and either refund them or something, but it certainly wouldn't constitute reprinting and republishing the entire yearbook again. So the long and short of it was the school had to have these books redone with the name spelled right. It cost them money, and the company that printed them sort of had a "we're not responsible for any typographical errors" clause that they didn't read in the fine print kind of thing. So they got screwed on that deal. And that was really the long and short of the story. It was just something that you'd never expect to happen. Out of all things, like to spell almost 50% of the names wrong was unreal. Absolutely unreal. Anyway, that's it. Just kind of a quick one for this. I thank you very kindly for watching. Got a bunch more I'm going to be telling right here. So stay tuned for the next episode of Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it very much. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.